ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Shloka number 20. We can chant together. अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः। संजय उवाच अथ व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धार्तराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुद्यम्य पाण्डवः ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यम् इदमाह महीपते। अर्जुन उवाच सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापयमेच्युत यावदेतान् निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धुकामानवस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यम् अस्मिन् रणसमुद्यमे योत्स्यमानानवेक्षेऽहं य एतेऽत्र समागताः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेः युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः। Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the Shastram, is a scripture which is in the form of a dialogue. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvad Rupena Pravrittam. It is in the form of dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna. And in which situation, in which circumstances this dialogue took place, that background story is being given in the first chapter and the 10th verses of the second chapter. And the story so far is Dhritarashtra asked a question to Sanjaya, what did my people and Pandava did? What did they do? For that, answer was given by Sanjaya that Duryodhana, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, went to the teacher, described the army of Pandavas, described the army of Kauravas, and gave his verdict after evaluation. And from one angle we can say, Duryodhana said that we are invincible. But from another angle, it looked like that he was feeling diffident as well. And to enthuse Duryodhana, Bhishma Pitamaha blew the conch. And it was followed by beating the drums, etc. by the commanders and the soldiers of Kaurava's army. It did create a huge noise, but it did not frighten the Pandavas' army. Then from Pandava's side also this blowing the conch etc. happened. And when that was done by Pandava's army, blowing the conch and beating the drums, then Hridayani Vyadharyat. It split or it tore apart the hearts of the Kaurava side. Means it created some fear. So in the first game of sound, making sound, Pandava won. First victory. Like in Wagha border, India, Wagha border is there between India and Pakistan. They have got a closing ceremony. And in that, both the sides, the soldier will try to raise the leg. And the competition is that who is raising maximum and with how much force. That also, because fighting is not happening now. So somewhere they have to express their superiority. So similarly here, the superiority was expressed in terms of sound. And Pandava won that war. Like before cricket may start, there is a psychological war between the captains. They will be provoking each other. And in that some captain wins. So similarly here, that sound war was won by Pandavas. And then Arjuna is requesting Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who was driver because of the grace of Krishna. He was not appointed for some salary, 2000 rupees per month. Not like that. Because of this grace, because of the love, affection Sri Krishna had for Arjuna, he became the driver. And to that driver, to that Krishna who was playing the role of a driver, Arjuna said, you please put my chariot between the two armies so that I can see with whom I have to fight. Yavadeta niriksheham yodhu kaman avasthitan kairmaya sah yodhavyam asmin rana samudyame. This shows a good quality of Arjuna, that he is thoughtful in his action. Some people, they do first and then think. What is the right thing? Think first and then do. Otherwise they do and then afterwards thinking is in the form of regret. If you do things thoughtlessly, then most of the time, not most of the time, many times you have to regret. Bina vichare jo kare so pache pachtaye. In Hindi they say nicely, if you do things without thinking, planning, then there are chances of regret. So Arjuna is having that thoughtfulness. Many positive qualities also will be described. Some weakness of Arjuna will be described, some positive qualities also are described. He is thoughtful. And he says, let me see, yochamanan aveksheham. I would like to see those people, yochamanan, those who are going to fight, ye who are atra samagataha, who are assembled here. And who are those people? Yuddhe priya chikirshavaha, who are desirous of doing something favorable to whom? Dhartarashtrasya, to Duryodhana, who is Durbuddhe. He is using the adjective for Duryodhana. Durbuddhe, dushta buddhi yasya. One whose buddhi, one whose mind is dushta, means adharmic, unrighteous. So this word is important because Arjuna is now clearly seeing that this war is meant for defeating adharma and bringing the victory to dharma. This war is not for kingdom, this war is meant for establishing the rule of dharma. And so he uses this word Durbuddhe. Means he is looking upon Duryodhana and the people in Duryodhana's side as Durbuddhi, adharmic people, unrighteous people. And when some people are doing adharma, then it is the duty of certain group of society to defeat that adharma. And for that purpose, if required, some himsa is permitted. Like a doctor when he is doing surgery, so much bleeding will be there. Some healthy cells, tissues also will be cut. But the purpose of doctor is not to bleed the person or to destroy the healthy tissues, but it is called collateral damage. It is bound to happen. Similarly, war is not for doing himsa. War is not for violence. War is meant for establishing dharma. Not every war. This war, Mahabharata war, was meant for establishing the rule of dharma. And for establishing dharma, adharma has to be defeated. And in the process of defeating adharma, some collateral damage in the form of this killing of some people would happen. Like as the surgery they do, some bleeding will happen. But in Shastra it is said, Tyajed ekam kulasya arthe. For the sake of the well-being of the entire family, if one person's interest is to be compromised, it is permitted. And that one person can be myself or anybody whose interest is to be violated for the benefit of totality. For the good of totality, the interest of individual can be compromised. Like it happens if this one part of the body has got very heavy infection, gangrene, then to protect the entire body, this part need to be cut. It is done. Amputated. It is done. So amputation is not something doctor relishes. It is a necessity. So Tyajed ekam kulasya arthe. For the sake of family, for the benefit of a family, the interest of one person can be diluted, compromised. And for the benefit of entire village, the interest of one family can be compromised. For the benefit of the state, the interest of one village can be compromised. Suppose the entire state will get very good irrigation facility, and for that one village is to be vacated. It is done. Many times, many places, people have to vacate that place and go to other place because larger interest. So for the larger interest, the smaller interest is compromised. This is at every level. In our individual life also you see, for getting health, we have to compromise or we have to let go some indulgence. I like sweet, suppose, but to regain my health, to get my diabetes under control, I have to let go that indulgence, let go my likes, let go this joy of relishing the sweet. We do it. So here also Arjuna was clear that for the benefit of this totality, this Dhritarashtra needs to be defeated, and therefore he uses the word Durbuddhe. Means he was having clear mind, not clouded by emotions. So his action or his response to the situation was based on dharma viveka, discretion of right and wrong, not based on raga dvesha. So our action can be either based on dharma, the discretion of right and wrong, or it can be based on our raga dveshas. If my raga dvesha, likes and dislike based action, is not in conflict with dharma, then it is alright. But many a times there is a conflict between raga dvesha and between dharma. For fulfilling my raga dvesha, I have to compromise with my values. And to protect my values, I have to compromise with my likes and dislikes. Then only conflict comes. It is something like when a doctor prescribes something which you like, then there is no conflict. Doctors say you should take cup syrup every day 3 times. Many people like cup syrup, so it is very good. No conflict. But you go to Ayurveda and they say kashayam. and some kashaya, by God, some muravishta is something is that. Even thinking of that hair will, that much bitter it is. So when that is prescribed, I don't like to take, and for protection of my health, I need to take. So there is a conflict between what I like to do and what I have to do. Then there is suffering, there is conflict. And generally, I generally give this example that the food I like is generally prohibited by the doctor. And what they prescribe, I don't like. That's why there is a conflict. So similarly, in life, when two options are there, one is the option based on dharma, one option is based on my ragadveshas. So two courses of action. One is based on ragadvesha, other is based on dharma and discretion. Then conflict comes. And when that conflict comes, then what person does decides his maturity, decides his value for dharma. See, when we don't have compulsion, we always tell the truth only. Everybody would like to speak the truth, unless somebody has got pathological problem, some abnormality. Without any compulsion, without any pressure, if we have to speak, we will speak truth only. But when there is some sacrifice involved, if I speak the truth, I have to pay a very heavy tax. So, ये तो कलियुग है स्वामी जी. This is a कलियुगा. In कलियुगा स्वल्प adjust ಮಾಡಿ. Little bit adjust पन्नुगो. That's what happens. In कलियुगा, a little bit adjustment. That's what happens. So, when there is a conflict, if I go for the option based on dharma, I am a dharmic person. Otherwise, everybody does the right thing, tells the truth only. So Arjuna, right now his buddhi is not clouded, and therefore he is looking upon Duryodhana as someone who is doing adharma. He is not looking upon him as his relative, which is going to be the case. Now he is looking upon him as adharma, and the people along with him as the people who are supporting adharma. And supporting adharma means wrong thing, is also wrong thing. Supporting adharma is adharma. So now he is very clear. Let me see who are supporting this wrong buddhi, wicked buddhi, Duryodhana. That is his question. And now Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he does what Arjuna had requested for. That is in the next shloka. Sanjaya uvacha evamukto Rishikeshah Gudakeshena Bharata Senayorubhayor madhye Sthapayitva rathottamam भीष्मद्रोण प्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरूनिति. So Sanjaya now comes and he says, Sanjaya uvacha, Sanjaya told the following thing. Rishikeshaha, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Rishikanam Ishaha, the Lord of organs, is called Rishikeshaha, Sri Krishna, who is Evam Uktaha, who was told by Arjuna in this manner. And word used for Arjuna is Gudakeshena, means by Arjuna. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna, who was told in this manner by Arjuna. In this manner means what? In the manner described in the previous verses. And Arjuna is called here Gudakesha. Gudakesha has got two meanings. One who has got curly hair is called Gudakesha. गुड़केश ऐसा नहीं कि वो गुड़ जैसा आपका है. So Guda means the curly hair. Other meaning, which is better meaning, is Gudakayaha Nidrayaha Ishaha. The Lord of sleep, the master of sleep. Means what? He has got mastery over sleep. Some people have uncontrolled sleep. Moment they sit, they start sleeping. A class is a very good place. One lady told Swami Paramarthanji, she slept in the class, and at the end of the class, she told Swamiji, this type of sleep I never got in my life. So we are doing some social service by giving such give some relief, peace to people. Alright. So Gudakayaha Ishaha, the master over sleep. Means when one is supposed to sleep, one sleeps. And when one is supposed to get up, gets up. When one is not supposed to sleep, doesn't sleep. That person is called Gudakesha. And Guda, Nidra, Guda means Nidra, sleep, it stands for Tamoguna. So Gudakesha means he has got mastery over Tamoguna. Tamoguna means the quality responsible for inertia, laziness. And by using this word, Sanjaya is telling Arjuna is a very alert person. Not like lazy fellow that some people will throw the air when he will be sleepy. No, he is going to be very alert. So Gudakeshena eva muktaha rishikeshaha. Krishna, who was told in this manner by Arjuna, Hey Bharata. This Bharata is a Sambodhana, is an addressing word to Dhritarashtra. See, this word Bharata is going to be used for Arjuna also. But here, Bharata is Dhritarashtra. What is Bharata? Bharata Vamshe Jataha. One who is born in the family of Bharata, a great king called Bharata, is called Bharata. So Sanjaya also, he said, you may not be Gudakesha. Therefore, every now and then he does Sambodhana. Sanjaya is doing Sambodhana to Dhritarashtra. By chance he is sleeping. Hey Bharata, I am telling you. So listen. Krishna, who was told in this manner, Sthapayitva, having placed Rathottamam, the best chariot, where? Senayoho Ubayoho Madhye, between the two armies. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna is a very good driver, and therefore he placed the chariot between the two armies. And where? In the between the two armies also, where? Because two armies will be very long line. So he says, Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. Pramukhataha, in front of Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma we know, who was like grandfather to Arjuna. Drona, who is the teacher to Arjuna. And Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam. And in front of all kings. Mahikshit means king. Mahikshitam is Shakti Bhavachanam. In front of all those kings. And predominantly Bhishma and Drona. So Bhagavan Sri Krishna placed the chariot in front of all the kings, mainly Bhishma and Drona. Why did he place in front of Bhishma and Drona? Because Bhishma and Drona were great warriors in Kaurava's side. And Arjuna had requested, let me see with whom I have to fight. And Bhishma and Drona are the matches for Arjuna. So Arjuna is going to fight with them. Other people cannot fight. So Arjuna is going to be the match. Therefore, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, following the instruction, Kairmayaha saha yodhavyam asmindrana samudyame. So that is one reason. And Bhishma, Drona were highly respectable. So in front of them, he placed the chariot. And also Bhagavan Sri Krishna, being what he is, very smart. If you read the Mahabharata, you see the smartness of Krishna in every situation. So he wanted, Bhagavan Sri Krishna wanted that if Arjuna has got any attachment to Bhishma Pitamaha and Dronacharya, it should be surfaced. Like before you start your car, you see everything, petrol, everything is okay, brake fail, etc. is not there. Similarly, before the war starts, Bhagavan wanted to make sure that Arjuna's problem of Ragadvesha is not there. Otherwise, in between car stops, similarly in between his Raga problem comes, then he will not fight. So before you start your flight, his checkup list is there. So Bhagavan wanted to see whether Arjuna has got problem of Raga. For Bhishma Pitamaha Drona, let it come out. Therefore, Bhishma Drona Pramukhataha Sarvesham cha Mahikshitam Sthapayitva Rathottamam. So Bhagavan exactly did what Arjuna had asked. And extra purpose also is served. He placed the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona, and Uvacha, having placed the chariot between the two armies, Rishikesha Uvacha. In fact, Sanjay Uvacha, like the Rishikesh Uvacha can come, but what he said was very little. What he said, He Partha. After Uvacha, what comes is the statement of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. He Partha, He Arjuna, Etan, Samavetan, Kurun Pashya. Hey Arjuna, may you see Etan, these people. And who are they? Kurun, the descendants of Kuru family, who are Samavetan, who are assembled here. So very intelligently, very small sentence. See, when you are not asked to give any upadesha, one needs to be very brief. Some people, if we ask them, how are you? They will start saying, in 1985, I used to eat all raw brinjals. Now I am not able to digest even this rice. All this, I asked you, how are you? That's all. So you should say what? I am fine. What? Going on. And if you don't want to answer, no, how are you? So what do? You answer, how are you? That's all. So you don't have to answer. You don't want to tell lies because you had stomach problem. And generally when somebody asks how are you, you should not describe your problem. When how are you is a question, don't complain your indigestion. That is a saying in English. Anyway, so Bhagavan Sri Krishna is very brief. We need not have pressure to talk. Some people cannot remain without talking. Even little bit we ask, oh my God, you know. So always learn to be as brief as possible where it is a matter of some regular conversation. When you are teaching, yes, you can be elaborate. I am very elaborate. But those who know me, generally when I talk to people, most of the time I listen only. And at the end, people will say, we had nice satsang. I don't know who had satsang. I had satsang. I love to listen. It is not that it is people's fault. I don't like to talk unless I have to talk. Generally, this is my policy. I have learned from Bhagavan and great acharyas like Bhagavan. So, Bhagavan said, Hey Arjuna, Etan Samavetan Kurun Pashya. May you see this Kurun. Vitya Bhuvachana. May you see this descendants of Kuru. This also is a little bit provoking. He did not say, may you see these warriors. Yodhan he did not say. Yodhan Pashya. He said what? Kurun Pashya. May you see the descendants of Kuru. And for your information, the Kuru word is applicable to Pandavas and Kauravas both. Because Kuru means the descendants of one great king called Kuru. So Pandavas also were Kauravas only, Kuru only. So what he wanted to see? See your relatives in a very smart manner. So that if problem of attachment is there, it should come out. Like in Ayurveda and all, they say toxin should come out, Therefore the purging process is there. So here also Bhagavan was doing that, Panchakarma. So if Ragadvesha problem is there, let it come out. Therefore he deliberately used Kurun Pashya. May you see the family members of Kuru, descendants of Kuru. And what Bhagavan had thought, it happened. You know, say like investigation, no, the problem doctor suspects. And so it happened. Doctor was thinking it will happen. It can be this problem. And scanning was done and it came out. Arjuna had the problem of Ragadvesha. Arjuna now started looking upon the members present as his relatives. Instead of seeing them as warriors, the participants of war, he started seeing them as relatives. That is from the next shloka. Tatra pashya sthitan parthah pitrunatha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhratrun putran pautran sakhinstatha Shvashuran surudaschaiva Senayorubhayorapi Tan samiksha sa kaunteya Tan samiksha sa kaunteya Sarvan bandhunavasthitan Krupaya paraya vishtah Vishidan abravit Tatra, there. There means Senayoho Ubayoho api. In the two armies, in both the armies. Apashyat, Arjuna saw. Is a past tense. Arjuna saw. Parthaha, Arjuna saw. What did he see? He saw all relatives. Avasthitan means assembled, present. In both the armies, Arjuna saw his relatives. Instead of seeing them as warriors, the participants of war, a particular project, he saw them as relatives. And how you look upon the person, that will decide your response to the person. That is why you must have heard this, that doctor or the surgeon who is very expert, very skillful, he does surgeries very well. But they say even that surgeon will generally not operate on his own family members. Most of them, some people are objective. But generally doctor doesn't operate on his own family member. Why? Because when he is doing that, no, that is my wife or my son, my daughter, that thought creates little bit anxiety. And anxiety is not good for any action, especially surgery. And therefore what? Generally they say they will be, their relatives will be operated by somebody else. Why it happens? This person has done 15,000 surgeries. Nothing happened, was very successful. But when his own son or his own father is to be operated, he said, no, I will not do it. Why? Because his view is different. He is not looking upon the person on the operation at the table as a patient. How he is looking? My father, my wife, my husband. Therefore he is not able to do. So Arjuna earlier, he was looking upon all of them as warriors. The warriors who are supporting adharma on Kaurava side and warriors who are supporting dharma, that is how he was looking upon, which was objective view. But now he is coming under the spell of emotion. From the rational level, he is coming down to emotional level. Emotions themselves are not harmful. In fact, every human being need to have emotions. Without emotions, you are a stone. So we don't criticize emotions. We don't say that you should not have emotions. To have emotions is a wrong thing. It's a wrong thing to say that emotions are wrong thing. But emotions should not overpower my intellect, my thinking capacity. And that happens in certain situations. Then what happens? Your perspective is different. So here Arjuna, seeing them as relatives, then he is going to have problems. So first here it is described that Arjuna looked upon all the warriors as his relatives. Because this war was between two cousins. So whoever on the other side, they also were his relatives only. Whoever on his side also his relatives. And therefore Arjuna is getting the problem of Raga and then Shoka. So that is going to be described. From 26 to 30 is the description of Arjuna's problem of attachment and sorrow, Raga and Shoka. So here it is said, Partha apashyat, saw these avasthitan, present, assembled. Who are they? Pitrun, fathers. How can fathers should be one? In our tradition, five types of people are called fathers. One can have fivefold fathers. Not five fathers, fivefold fathers. There is a shloka which says, Janitopaneta cha yascha vidya prayachati annadata bhayatrata panchaite pitaraspruta. Five members are called fathers. First one is Janita, biological father they call it. Janita. He is definitely father. Second one is Upaneta, one who gives initiation, Yagnopavita initiation, Upaneta. Third is Vidya Pradata, one who gives Vidya also is called father. Therefore we say Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva. Guru also is looked upon as what? Pita. So Guru also is father. So third father. Fourth is Annadata, one who is providing me food. That's called Annadata. And fifth one is Bhayatrata, one who protected me from some danger. That also becomes my father. So five types of fathers are there. Biological father, initiator, the teacher, the provider of food, and the protector from danger. All these five are called father. Therefore Pitrun. In Sanskrit, most of you are knowing Sanskrit. So you know that in Sanskrit how many vachanas are there? 1, 2 or 3? 3. What are they? Ekavachanam, Dvivachanam, Bahuvachanam. Singular, dual and plural. Plural can be used when how many members should be there? More than 2, yes. Minimum 3. So minimum 3 fathers should be there, but if one can have more than 3. So therefore Pitrun, fathers, means somebody was the initiator, somebody was the teacher, somebody must have provided some food sometimes, somebody must have protected from danger. Therefore Pitrun. Atha, then, and Pitamahan. Pitamahan means grandfathers. So you can have many fathers, you can have many grandfathers as well. So grandfathers means the people who are the fathers of these five fathers and people who are like grandfathers. So Pitamahan means the people who are the grandfather figures. Like some people will say Dadaji, Tata. In Tamil they say Tata. He's not really my Tata, but we call Tata. Nowadays don't call anybody Tata. He will slap. People don't like to be called Tata. So it's a funny thing, you know. In fact, I tell you, when I was 26 or 27 and I was studying in Gujarat somewhere, and I went to a garden. At that time the body was very thin And seeing me, some children would started calling Tata, Tata, Tata. I enjoyed it. It was nice. I was 27 only. You enjoy. See, you feel hurt when somebody makes fun, but you enjoy that fun. Then no problem. By the way, so Pitamaha means grandfathers. Then what? Acharyan, the teachers, specifically some teachers. Matulan, maternal uncles. Mothers, brothers, they are called Matulan. Bhratrun, brothers. Putran. Arjuna, remember when this situation happened, he was 80 plus. Even though generally picture we see with big black collar this, he was 83 or 84. Okay, so he has sons also. So Putran. Putran means sons and son like son figures. So like father figure we say son figures. So Putran. Pautran. Even grandsons. Because he was 82, so grandson he can have. So Pautran. Sakhin, friends. Tatha means similarly friends. Shvasuran, mothers, the fathers-in-laws. And Arjuna had many wives, so naturally many fathers-in-law will be there. Shvasuran. Or Surudaha. Suruda means well-wishers. It's a very beautiful word, Surud. In Shastra they define Pratyupakaram anapeksha yaha upakaroti saha surud. So one who helps you without expecting anything in return, that person is called surud. Generally we have got calculation, Today I have scratched your back, tomorrow you will scratch my back. That's what. One who doesn't keep such account, who just helps because he is able to help. That is the approach. I share because I can share. I help because I am in position to help. Without any account, without taking phone number, I have helped you, please give me your number, so when I have difficulty I will call you. No such thing. Doesn't want his name. In some temple, see in the fan, all the three, blades, the names will be written. 3 people have donated the fan, so all 3 names will be there. Even that fan they cannot donate without giving names. So no expectation of any recognition. The political leader will be there, especially when elections are nearing, they will be giving the clothes and all this. It is not that they really care for you. They are seeing the election. They are not called Surut. Surut means one who just helps because he enjoys helping. That is called Surut. And they are called, in English we don't have exact word for that, so we roughly translate as well-wisher. Okay, Surut. In Sanskrit what it conveys is not conveyed by English word. Shushtu Hrit Hrudayam Yasya. That's Surut. One who has got good heart. The heart which enjoys sharing without expecting anything in return. So he saw all of them. Senayoho Ubayoho Api. In both the armies he saw such people. Tan Samiksha. Having seen all relatives. Saha Kaunteya. That Kaunteya. Whom did he see? Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan. He saw all Bandhu means relatives. He saw all relatives. Sarvan Bandhun Avasthitan, who were assembled there. Bandhun word is important. He saw his relatives. The perspective changed. In the previous days, 24, 25th, before that 22, 23, he was looking upon them as warriors. Now he is looking upon them as relatives. Perspective changed. And perspective matters a lot. How you look upon the person will decide your response. How you look upon the world will decide your response to the world. Some people see that world is my enemy, world is victimizer. Then all the time this person is full of anger, defensiveness. Why? Because he looks upon the world as victimizer. But suppose you look upon the world as your well-wisher, you are relaxed, you are happy, you are having that trust. So how, if a family members, how you are looking upon your family members? Are you thinking that, see, all are selfish, Swami, my all family members are very selfish? So all the time you have to defend yourself. But if you see that my family members, this ocean of love, they really care for me, then your attitude is different. You are ready to serve. If you look upon your family members as selfish, then you said, why should I do? They are very selfish. You will not do anything. So you can understand what is the importance of perspective. We think what is there in perspective, it matters a lot. How you look upon. In Western, this thinking that economics is defined as is a discipline of knowledge to manage, a discipline of knowledge dealing with the management of resources to be exploited. So that is how they look upon the world. What is the world? The world is to be exploited. The very perspective is wrong. Don't look upon the world as something to be exploited. Our Vedic vision is the world is to be worshipped. We have this, the Jana Seva is Jagadishvara Seva. You look upon the world as a manifestation of Ishvara, your attitude is different. You look upon your family members as manifestation of Ishvara, your attitude is different, your response is different. So here Arjuna's problem was he started looking upon them as relatives. Sarvan bandhun avasthitan. Changed. And then what happens? Kripaya paraya avishtaha. Avishtaha means he was overpowered. By what? Kripa. Kripa literally means compassion. But here compassion is in the form of attachment. Paraya means intense, deep. Arjuna was overpowered by intense, deep compassion or attachment, raga. Compassion is a very good quality, is a saintly quality. Compassion, called daya, is a very good quality. Para dukha prahanecha daya. The definition of daya is given in Shastra. The desire to reduce or remove the pain of others, that is called daya. It's a very good quality. It makes you a saint. Puja Swamiji used to emphasize this quality. He used to say, daya is a sign of maturity. And if you want to become a mature, also try to invoke compassion. More you become compassion, more mature you will become. And so compassion is a very good quality. But sometimes what is there is our attachment, but it appears to be compassion. What is there is attachment. Attachment means what? Emotional dependence. Emotional obsession with a person is called attachment. Emotional dependence is called attachment. And that attachment sometimes may look like compassion. Let us know the difference between the two. Compassion is coming out of strength. Attachment is coming out of weakness. Because attachment is what? Dependence. Dependence comes out of weakness. This is one thing. In compassion, if it is a genuine compassion, you accept facts as fact. And therefore, there is acceptance of situation. Like, I have compassion for the people in the hospital. But I am ready to accept that some people, because of abuse of free will in this life or in the previous life, they can have some suffering. It's a fact. Karma brings suffering. Karma in this life or in the past life can bring suffering. It's a fact. So I have compassion for people, but I don't resist the fact that some people have suffering. Some people can have suffering. Somebody was drinking a lot and therefore he can have this liver problem. Can have. So I am ready to accept facts as fact. And therefore what? There is acceptance of situation. Whereas in attachment, you want the laws of nature to change. Anybody else can have this liver problem if he or she drinks a lot. My son should not get. My husband should not get. My wife should not get. That is attachment. You think you have compassion, Swamiji, I am wishing very well of him, I have so much compassion for him. It is not compassion, it is attachment. Where you are not ready to accept facts as fact. One more difference. In compassion, since there is acceptance of fact as a fact, there is no sorrow. In compassion, there is no sorrow. In attachment, there is a resistance to the fact, therefore there is sorrow. So in compassion, you can remain objective. Yes, whatever is to be done, I will do it, but I am ready to accept any consequence. See, good doctors will have compassion to the patient, but they are ready to accept the consequence. Till morning he operated and patient died and he felt so overwhelmed. Whole day he said, I will not do anything, I will go back home 1 week leave. We cannot operate like this. After 2 hours again he has another surgery, he will do it. He doesn't allow that this death of the patient to influence him. So he may feel momentary sorrow, but he is not overwhelmed by that. So when compassion is there is acceptance of fact, therefore there is no sorrow. Whereas in attachment, there is resistance to the fact. You want the laws of nature to change and they will not change. Therefore what? There will be sorrow. And one more thing, the difference between this attachment and compassion. In compassion, you don't keep account of what you have done. In attachment, you keep account. See, when you were small, I spent so much on your admission. I gave you this. I bought you a car. I bought you this. I did this. Some people, parents keep account also. Daily, that this much I spent. With my investment, they say also, Swamiji, I don't have FDs, but my 3 sons are my investments. I don't have outside, but these are my FDs, so now they have to give me. That is not compassion. In compassion, you don't keep account. In attachment, you keep account. And if that other person does not respond to your expectation, you are angry with that person. I will think that my children are not there, all are dead, all this you will say. Thus, compassion is a very good quality. But when attachment is there, which appears to be compassion, it is leading the person to samsara, more and more bondage. Attachment itself is a bondage and it leads to more bondage. Compassion matures you, attachments binds you. This is one more difference. Thus, Arjuna had this krupaya. That krupa was this in the form of attachment, and he was avishtaha, and his attachment was paraya, very intense attachment, and overpowered by intense attachment, vishidan, grieving. Attachment will lead to sorrow guaranteed. Like then a peace guaranteed, there's some insurance company advertisement is peace guaranteed. Similarly, we say that if you are attached to someone, then sorrow guaranteed. Priyastvam rotsyati. Your beloved ones only become the cause for your sorrow, generally. Your enemies don't generally become so much cause for your sorrow. People will say, Swamiji, if somebody else tells me, then understand. But my own son is telling like this. That is problem. My own daughter, Swamiji. My own wife is telling this. It hurts me more, Swamiji. So, this attachment leads to sorrow. And there is a mathematical relationship. Sorrow caused is directly proportional to the intensity of attachment. The more is attachment, the more will be sorrow. You can see in your life. If you have more attachment and person passes away, you have more sorrow. Somebody little attachment, he is your neighbor. He used to say hello, hi. He was smiling, so you liked it. He dies, you will feel little bit, but not so much. So, Vishidan. So, Arjuna grieving. And since his attachment was para, very intense, therefore, sorrow also is very intense. Which will be described. So, Vishidan grieving. Grieving Arjuna, idam, the following one, abravit. He told the following sentence. We will read that. Arjuna uvacha drishtveman svajanam Krishna yuyutsum samupasthitam sidanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishusyati depatushcha sharire me रोमहर्षश्च जायते गाण्डीवं स्रंसते हस्तात् प्लक्षैव परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम् भ्रमतीव च मे मनः निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशव न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे. So 28 and half to 30th sloka is the description of Arjuna's sorrow. Arjuna is feeling intense sorrow. His sorrow is mental. Sorrow is a mental quality, but it is so intense that it gets percolated at physical level. Your mental qualities, mental distress will be expressed at the physical level. Therefore, they have the word now, psychosomatic. Most of the diseases are psychosomatic. Earlier there was a very small list. What are the psychosomatic diseases? Now they said the list is so big. They said now what are not psychosomatic is a smaller list. That's what they have done. So Arjuna also is getting into the psychosomatic situation, which we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.